We've been seeing Daniel and Kane in therapy for weeks now. It's not anger management that these two need. What they need is respect from the WWE Universe. Kane with a vice-like grip on his opponent's skull.
Here's his moment, Michael.
Whoa, he lets him out.
What a fool. He had him dead to right.
He's got the shoulders down. You know, Corey, I see Daniel's issues with the S-champ, but I don't have a problem with it. I mean, even in Montreal, where we were for Raw this past week, the crowd chants, "We, we, we."
Here it comes. Looking for choke slam straight to hell.
Look at this. Oh, and he breaks up the pin.
Thunderous.
His shoulders are down. They did it. They won the match.
Here are your winners and the new WWE Tag Team Champions, Kane and Daniel Bryan. Team Hell No.
The referee's 3 count ends this one. And there's your winner, folks.
No wonder these guys won. They work together like they've been teaming up since birth.
These teams really put it all out on the line in this tag title match. I hope you enjoyed it.
Team Hell No had a great run, but like most tag teams, Kane and I eventually went our separate ways, and I returned to pursuing my goal of winning singles titles.
I need to win the WWE Championship.
It was around this time I had a series of matches with Randy Orton that would have a much greater effect on my career than I could ever imagine.
A sold-out Raw here in Charleston, South Carolina. Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton started the night with a double disqualification, but they will settle things in the main event with a street fight.
Randy Orton called Daniel Bryan a weak link. Kane called Daniel Bryan a weak link. Bryan is here to prove that he is not a weak link. Tall order as he faces 9-time WWE champion Randy Orton.
Oh, man! What a stomp!
Good grief.
They get dangerous out here, especially when there are no countouts.
He'd be smart to stay put there. It's kind of a shame that Orton and Bryan are fighting tonight, and that they will also be brawling with Kane in the Money in the Bank match, since those 3 men are the only trio to pin or submit the Shield in a 6-man tag team match.
It's even more impressive when you consider the trios that fell to the Shield at WrestleMania. Orton, Sheamus, and The Big Show failed. On the Raw 2 weeks after WrestleMania, Team Hell No and The Undertaker couldn't do it. Last week, Team Hell No and Orton finally beat the Shield, and in 3 weeks, they'll be fighting each other for money. In the bank. Randy Orton, no problem in getting out of that one. This is what makes him one of the best in the business.
Beautiful technique. This might be it.
Oh, my. Guys, Bryan has Orton reeling. The so-called weak link is edging even closer to a victory.
It would be a massive upset if Bryan beat the 9-time WWE champion.
We saw Team Hell No dissolve last week on Raw as both Kane... Oh, the yes lock is cinched in.
Is he gonna... Ooh.
Wow, I'm just as surprised as you guys are.
He releases it. And you can debate whether or not that would have been the end. Interesting decision there.
Going back to Kane and Daniel Bryan's breakup, it seemed cordial, but their paths could easily cross again if one of them attains the WWE Championship.
Yeah, that reminds me, Michael. Team Hell No didn't officially hug it out when they broke up.
Things could be bad between Kane and Bryan.
This might be it.
Oh, my.
And he's heading back in. We're seeing two favorites of the WWE Universe battle it out here, and it's fitting that the WWE Universe voted for this to be a street fight.
The hashtags have been trending all night on social media, but the people picked a street fight over a Falls Count Anywhere and a lumberjack match. I normally disagree with the people, but they made a good call here tonight.
This rivalry between Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton has been simmering for weeks and looks to violently explode during this street fight.
Now, Bryan has been determined to show he can beat Orton. Last week on Raw, Randy Orton won the match via ref stoppage when Bryan injured his arm. Bryan got a countout win 4 days later on SmackDown, but he wants a definitive win over the Viper.
He's looking at it. He's making a statement here with this attack. We recounted Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton's matches as of late. We thought it would be settled in tonight's opening match, but they battle rocked him
just when you thought he had nothing left.
He goes for the cover. He's got to be running on empty at this point.
He's still in this.
Uh-oh, he's in trouble here. He's fighting back here.
I expected nothing less, Cole. Success breeds success, and he's definitely having some right now.
A street fight is apropos for Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton, seen as both men will take part in a Money in the Bank ladder match in 3 weeks' time.
All the weapons we'll see Bryan and Orton sling tonight is just a prelude to the unforgiving steel ladders that play in a Money in the Bank match.
Both arms hooked.
You got backslide for the victory.
This could be it.
2, 3. Daniel Bryan's done it. Daniel Bryan's done it.
What an incredible victory for Daniel Bryan in this brutal street fight.
Here is your winner, Daniel Bryan.
No longer will anyone consider Daniel Bryan the weak link after this grueling victory.
Any way you slice it, that win right there is beyond important.
It is now time for me to tell you whom I've selected to compete against me for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam.
After my series of matches with Randy Orton, I really started gaining momentum, and both the WWE Universe and Superstars took notice.
Weeks of anticipation finally leads to this. The most polarizing individual in WWE history, John Cena, against a man with an incredible groundswell of support, Daniel Bryan. Will the 11-time WWE Champion retain his title, or will we enter the era of Bryan?
It's been a long time since we've seen someone be as hot with the WWE Universe as Daniel Bryan has been in recent months. I mean, we haven't seen this kind of electric momentum since guys like The Rock, or even Bryan's opponent, John Cena.
Bryan sees Cena as an entertainer, while Daniel calls himself a wrestler, and a more superior one than Cena. The champion disagrees. We'll see who's right tonight.
Oh, nasty impact.
Guys, there's a stark difference in the accolades between Daniel Bryan and John Cena. Bryan's never held the WWE Championship, while John Cena has held it 11 times.
Daniel Bryan argues that John can't possibly be able to understand what he's feeling. How could Cena understand the hunger, understand the desire Daniel has to hold the WWE Championship just once? Again, guys, John Cena is an 11-time WWE Champion. Daniel Bryan just wants it once. He wants to be the WWE Champion for one reason, and it's not for the fame or the glory. It's so everybody would know that whenever he steps foot in the ring, there is no... Nobody better than him.
In Daniel Bryan's eyes, this is the biggest match of his life. While for John Cena, this is just another SummerSlam. It's hunger versus content. Nailed it. That big elbow pad Cena's sporting could become a target.
Daniel Bryan's a submission specialist. You know he's game planned for that elbow.
Something we'll have to keep an eye on. I need to describe to you guys Daniel Bryan's disapproval of John Cena. Calling John Cena a parody, Daniel Bryan doesn't approve of John's look or how he acts. Calls John Cena an entertainer, not a wrestler.
Yeah, but Bryan's not the first guy to say it. John Cena's what's wrong with wrestling. To say, we've had enough of the 5 moves of doom. Daniel Bryan isn't the first, and he won't be the last to want to put Cena out of the picture.
Speaking of Bryan's disapproval of John Cena, Cena did get emotional on Raw a couple of weeks ago. John saying that, I'm not going to change for Daniel Bryan. I'm not going to change for anyone.
Cena's heard it all before. He's been in hostile environments. He's had his critics. But as long as there are still people who are loyal to John Cena will fight for them and be loyal to who he is.
He's going for the pin. Not much behind that pin attempt.
Clearly not enough damage done.
Boom!
Suplex.
What impact! Cena would win a power game against Daniel, there's no doubt, and it's on display now.
Yeah, you can do all the moves you want, but sometimes power just prevails.
Interesting quote from John Cena at the SummerSlam press conference this past Tuesday. Big move coming! Wait for it! Daniel Bryan's been showing shades of his former mentor, Shawn Michaels, here tonight.
Well, Cena's impressive combination kicks. He's in complete control now. Oh, and he reverses it. I want to answer John Cena's question from Tuesday's press conference. I think Daniel Bryan's been on a road of defining himself. You see the excitement from the WWE Universe? It isn't too dissimilar to the rise we've seen with guys like The Rock and John Cena.
There's a different feeling to Bryan, though. Daniel's rise feels like it's coming from the underground. Based around a guy, Daniel Bryan, who just wants to be the best at his job. And he's proud that his job is first and foremost being a wrestler.
These two competed against each other 10 years ago on an episode of WWE Velocity. In a time before John...
The yes lock is in! The yes lock is in!
Unreal!
Oh, what a crossface!
Can he end it here?
He fights his way free.
But how much energy did he exhaust fighting his way out?
So you're gonna, shoulder breaker.
This is not how you want to see a matchup like this end.
Weeks of anticipation finally leads to this. The most polarizing individual in WWE history, John Cena, against a man with an incredible groundswell of support, Daniel Bryan. Will the 11-time WWE Champion retain his title, or will we enter the era of Bryan?
It's been a long time since we've seen someone be as hot with the WWE Universe as Daniel Bryan has been in recent months. I mean, we haven't seen this kind of electric momentum since guys like The Rock, or even Bryan's opponent, John Cena.
Bryan sees Cena as an entertainer, while Daniel calls himself a wrestler, and a more superior one than Cena. The champion disagrees. We'll see who's right tonight.
What impact!
Ooh, what an upper!
Lariat! What impact! You know, we knew Cena had a bummed elbow coming into this match, but it seems to be holding up thus far.
Fighting through pain. That's what champions do.
Snap suplex.
Very nice.
Oh, man!
Harsh impact.
That big elbow pad Cena sporting could become a target.
Daniel Bryan's a submission specialist. You know he's game planned for that elbow.
Something we'll have to keep an eye on.
I'm so glad to see Triple H step up to be the referee tonight. He's been a big supporter of Daniel Bryan and only wants to see Daniel get a fair shot at the title tonight. Something I don't believe Mr. McMahon wants.
Well, Triple H sees the drive in Daniel Bryan, and sure, he went over the boss's head when he inserted himself as a referee, but a match of this magnitude needs someone impartial, someone who's going to call it straight down the middle, and Triple H is that guy.
Oh boy, he is rolling.
There's something we should address, something we need to think of. Randy Orton has been playing mind games with both of these men in recent weeks. Orton possesses the Money in the Bank contract. He can cash it in at any time. It's just something else these two need to keep in mind. He knows he's in trouble.
Oh, the yes lock is cinched in.
Is he going to? There it is. It's locked in.
Smart maneuver.
Can he finish the job?
Hopefully John Cena can recover.
Wow, he got out of it.
Yeah, I'm not so... Oh, come on. Don't have it end like this.
Weeks of anticipation finally leads to this. The most polarizing individual in WWE history, John Cena, against a man with an incredible groundswell of support, Daniel Bryan. Will the 11-time WWE Champion retain his title, or will we enter the era of Bryan?
It's been a long time since we've seen someone be as hot with the WWE Universe as Daniel Bryan has been in recent months. I mean, we haven't seen this kind of electric momentum since guys like The Rock, or even Bryan's opponent, John Cena.
Bryan sees Cena as an entertainer, while Daniel calls himself a wrestler, and a more superior one than Cena. The champion disagrees. We'll see who's right tonight.
Beautiful technique.
Suplex.
Very nice. You gotta believe this one's over. Ooh! This might be it.
Oh, my. That big elbow pad Cena sporting could become a target.
Daniel Bryan's a submission specialist. You know he's game plan for that elbow.
Something we'll have to keep an eye on.
Beautiful technique.
Guys, it's imperative he gets back in the ring.
Yeah, otherwise he's looking at a count-out.
Back in the ring now. I can tell you, nobody's happy about it.
I won the WWE Championship that night, but yet again, it was one step forward, 2 steps back. Triple H and Randy Orton teamed up to take the title away from me right after the match.
Randy Orton has cashed in Money in the Bank!
I was champion for all of about 4 minutes, which I've been told ranks among the top 5 shortest title reigns ever, so at least I have that to be proud of. Next chapter was all about facing adversity, which, as you know, I had plenty of experience with up until this point. Week after week.
Welcome back to Raw. Tonight's main event, a steel cage tag team match pitting Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt against the Usos.
The night started with a tire match between the foursome that ended in disqualification, but now the only way to win is by pinfall, submission, or escape.
While the WWE Universe continues to beg for Daniel Bryan to see the light, this is Bryan's chance to finally show his new brother, Bray Wyatt, that he belongs in the Wyatt family. Oh, what an iron! Oh, double hand shot. Hard.
Oh, look at that. Oh, impactful slam. Oof. Suplex. Absolutely planted. What a stomp. Good grief. Oh, man. Right to the arm. Hyperextend your elbow.
Bray Wyatt isn't setting a good example for his family as he falls behind a bit here.
Wyatt isn't here to set examples, Saxton. Harper, Rowan, and now Daniel Bryan are all in his command. He's going to command them to obliterate the Usos any second now.
Guys, I've just been so heartbroken to see Daniel Bryan give up and join the Wyatts.
Oh, boo-hoo, Byron. He didn't join the Wyatts, he became a Wyatt. And this isn't giving up. This is just the beginning of Wyatt family dominance.
Corey, you mentioned Bryan joining Bray as the beginning of something big, but they've lost their last two matches. When does the dominance begin?
Well, it begins right here, right now, Cole. Those were growing pains, and now they unleash chaos in the cage.
Oh, boy, he is rolling.
Nailed it. Oh, nasty impact.
Ooh, what impact.
What impact. Here he goes.
Setting up for it. Wow, I'm just as surprised as you guys are. The Usos are just getting overwhelmed.
Goes down hard. Saxton, you said the Usos were prepared for war, and you know what? I'll give you this. They have been successful against the Wyatts, but now they're in a steel cage, and they should fear what Bray can do in there.
I'm going to agree with Corey here. In fact, earlier tonight, Bray said, and I quote, "The Usos are foolish and afraid. The Wyatt family has been locked in a cage their entire life." Chilling stuff.
Look out!
Bray Wyatt and his brothers-in-arms were WWE's most destructive force last year. And that's even more impressive when you realize they only debuted on the main roster back in July. Oh, no. Leaving himself open here.
Now, guys, I can't think of a worse place for him to be right now.
Mentioned the impact of the Wyatts in 2013, where Bray's first WWE match was defeating Kane at SummerSlam, and the Devil's favorite demon hasn't been the same since.
Bray's path of destruction's taken out the likes of Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, R-Truth, and he capped the year off by bringing Daniel Bryan into the fold. The only thing scarier is what he has in store for 2014.
This might be it! Oh my! When Jimmy starts rolling like this, look out below!
The Usos are showing a lot of heart going into this battle, and part of it has to be to reach their former ally, Daniel Bryan.
I'm not sure why they're even...
He's fighting back here.
I expected nothing less, Cole.
Here is Bray Wyatt in position now.
The kiss! Sister Abigail! The succubus strikes again.
That's how you put an exclamation point on the end of a match, guys. Corey, you brought up the Usos being emotional. How is that a bad thing? If you don't believe in what you're doing, then why do it?
Byron, listen. I'm a former NXT Tag Team Champion. If I was consumed with redemption or revenge, I could have been sidetracked from the goal. What the Usos are doing now is taking themselves out of the tag title picture. Plain and simple.
Corey actually shared the ring with Bray Wyatt back in NXT. How has he been able to instill this following from both the WWE Universe and competitors like Daniel Bryan?
Jimmy Uso. Man,
that might be enough.
Elbow drop.
Pearson.
elbow drop, big time. When Jimmy starts rolling like this, look out below.
Big time atomic drop.
That'll have you walking funny.
hooked him.
DDT.
What in? Uso splash! Jay should be able to cruise the victory here.
Bray Wyatt's just getting overwhelmed. Ooh. Oof. Harsh impact. Oh boy, he is rolling. Boom, what impact.
And it's Jey Uso getting out of that one.
Brutal stomp, but it doesn't end there.
Oh, no, it does.
Boom! Daddy never did that fast. That's how you put an exclamation point on a match.
This is Jey Uso's chance. Oh, man! Neckbreaker! See you, Jimmy.
If at first you don't succeed,
You gotta believe this one's over. Oh, boy, he is rolling.
nailed it. Bray Wyatt drives his opponent down with a Uranagi.
This one's over, guys.
Now the vicious head crank. Look at the torque. Oh, continuing to punish them. Bray Wyatt. Oh, gosh, this part freaks me out, Corey. This is absolutely unsettling, and it does not bode well for Bray's opponent.
And neither will this. And that will likely end Jay's night.
Quite the interesting choice of moves, I'd say.
Ooh, what impact.
Beautiful technique. Buster.
Here is Jimmy Uso in position now. Here we go, a second.
Man, here's where Jimmy can win this thing. There it is. Now the question is, can Jimmy Uso finish? Oof.
Oh, Jimmy Uso dodged that one.
Bray Wyatt could be out of this. He's really going to need the help of Daniel Bryan to survive this war.
This is where Bray Wyatt's brainwashing needs to take effect for Daniel Bryan to help with this onslaught from the Usos.
Bray Wyatt can fix this himself, gentlemen. He's the most destructive force we've seen in WWE in years.
An impressive series of moves.
Looks like nobody's budging, Cole.
Yeah, he's got something special brewing here.
Boom, what impact. Beautiful technique. Oh, Corey, he unloaded there. This might be it.
Oh, my.
Nailed it.
This one is over. Things don't look good for Bray Wyatt.
I don't know how much more damage one person could take. I don't care how tough you are.
You gotta believe this one's over.
Oh, nasty impact.
Nobody controls the pace of a match quite like this guy.
Oh boy, he is rolling. Harsh impact.
What a right. Right on the mark.
Ooh, what impact. Harsh impact.
Permanently.
That has got to be it. Things look... Higher for Jey Uso.
Oh, look at this. Oh, this is not good at all. Send him up. Flowing driver.
Here comes the big Uso splash. Just when you thought he had nothing left.
There it is. Now the question is, can Jimmy Uso finish? Oh, what incredible power. Wow, what a vertical suplex.
What a hellaciously physical match these gladiators have put themselves through. The intensity of this has been incredible.